Hello, I am Yuri and this is the second video of my very basic guide to get you started on Dune Spice Wars. Last video I just told you that there are counselors. I know I didn't go into specifics telling what counselors you should choose. This is because you need to choose between your playstyle, whatever goes to your playstyle. I also told you every single way that you have to win, but I did not tell you how to win based on that. Well, I did tell you how to get there, but I didn't go into specifics. I left that to these other guides. Today I'm going through the map. This is more specific villages, conquering villages, how they work. So first of all, let's just go over here. Villages have two types of villages. You have the basic type, which pretty much do not give you anything special, which is here. As you guys can see, there's nothing around it besides this that can randomly spawn throughout the game. And there are special villages, which have these icons. As you can see, I have two special villages right here. Now, what is the difference between a basic village and a special village? A special village will have these icons which lets you construct some buildings, some special buildings that are specific to the icon. So as you guys can see, processing plant, which is from here, allows you to construct a construction of processing plant, and here it is. Now, what does this do? This simply gives you more salary, which is the currency of the game. Here you have another, which is it gives you 100% of plus grid factory. Don't worry, I'll explain which all of these currencies are, but for now you just need to understand the basics of the villages. So pretty much what I like to do with the very basic villages is just to adapt to my needs. Obviously, one thing that you need to always look on your village, which is like this. These are the buffs that the villages give you. They are random and they are very specific. Now let's just read what these ones do. Now this gives you 2 intel production when the village has at least one building of each type. There are 3 types, which is the yellow, red and blue, and as you guys can see I have one of each, so this buff is on. You should always look to get your buffs on. This is just because they always help you no matter what. And here the second buff is it lets me have one research hub, which I did not do. Let's actually do that right now, right here. I always go for all the buffs, and then what happens is this gives you 20% research hub resource protection. So right now I'm gonna have 2, and those 2 will give me a total of 40% more of the knowledge. Knowledge, just a little tip, is what lets you go up in level of your skill tree. So always good. Every single buff is good. And now, as you guys can see, even the special villages have buffs. So you should always go for their special constructions, but you should also go for the buffs. So what are the buffs? Just to give you an example, gain 100% of the village's water production as salary. So as you guys can see right over here, Dew Collector, plus 1 water per level of wind strength in the region. What is the wind strength? Right here. You guys, I'm just explaining to you this because this comes to the basics as well. So there you go. So as you guys can see, I am playing to that buff as well, is plus 20 resource production when a village has at least one building each type. And as you guys can see, I have red, yellow and blue once again. You understand that there are basic and special villages. How do you conquer these villages? Very simple. Let's go to one that is not conquered, which is very hard, but here she is. With this, authority. You will regen authority very naturally, but there are some buffs in your skill tree that will give you more. Then you walk up with an army and then just attack it and you get the village. You guys got that from the tutorials, so yeah. After that, you guys need to do something which is fill up your militia. I'm sorry if I'm saying anything wrong. I'm not naturally English, so yeah, you guys can see by the accent. This is very important, and this is a tip I'm going to give you. Always go for heavy militia. Don't go for anything else. Full heavy is fine, because they either kill very slowly or they just stall for you to get away. So either way, it's fine for you. You can play. Oh, this is a very slow game, so yeah. So at the very beginning, you always want to have 1 militia because you don't have resources for more. So only have 1 militia every time you get one, and throughout the game you start adding more, just like I did. So just to make sure this is linear, you go to your first village, you conquer it, you see the buffs, you construct based on those buffs, and then you add one heavy militia. Then to protect that village on the beginning, what you do is you select all of your army, and while your heavies slow down, because I did say they delay everything, you make your army walk up to whatever it's attacking it and just kill it. That's it. Most of the time you'll be NPCs attacking, and if it's players, normally it's when both of you already have pretty much the same sized army, so it's fine. So there you go. So now we understand what type of villages are, what to do when you conquer a village, and how to protect your village. Next is, I'm going to tell you, because villages is what gives you currency / resources. It's your only way to get resources besides selecting your army, attacking a villages, and instead of taking the villages like I demonstrated here, you will have another option, which is to pillage the village. Pretty much what you do is you don't conquer it, it does not become your territory, you just take away resources from them, and then nobody can conquer it while they're on cooldown, so to speak. So yeah, that's it. But what you do is you need to stabilize your resource income. This is why the buffs are so important. So what you have are Solari, which is the money. You have plus crit, which is the metal that you use to construct other buildings. You have your manpower, which is what you use to pretty much hire every single person of your army. And then you have fuel cell. This is to get the pretty much mechanic soldiers, more like vehicles, like the Kraken and the Hawk and the support drone, as you guys can see over there. Then you have water. These are, as explained in the very first tutorial, if you play the game, is the very thing that lets you move around, that gives you that yellow bar that lets you move around, and while you move around you start losing water resources, and then if you lose all of that yellow bar, your army starts losing health, which is obviously not good. But this also has the resource to keep up some of the to construct some of the buildings. As you guys can see here, refinery requires you to sacrifice one of your water. So yeah. Next resource is authority. I explained to you, this is what lets you get other territory. So yeah. Then you have land strand standing. This is just kind of your political power. This pretty much the more you have, the more possibilities you have in the land strat council. I don't go much into it because this does come somewhat naturally. You can get more through your politics tree, which is right over here. But I'm not going into it too much this video. And this is your guild favor. Now, guild favors are pretty much from the Spacing Guild, so once again it comes for your flying ships. You pretty much to make a construction of one, as you guys can see over there, military Kraken, you need 100 of these, and then the upkeep is 16 Solari, as well as having the 10 fuel. So yeah, so you need to stabilize your villages, make sure you're planning and playing for their buffs, so you get all these incomes. And then the very last income, which is the most important, is the spice. So the spice is how you pay your debt. You need to reach the number that is over here to pretty much pay. There you go, to pay up. And if you pay up, you won't get a debuff or a nerf in this case. This comes over here. As you guys can see, there's no red ones. Normally the greens are buffs, the red ones are debuffs. And so you always want to pay up, because if you get debuffs, it will hurt your game. So this is very simplified. Pretty much Solari, you buy stuff. Plus crit, you construct stuff. Manpower, you hire people. Fuel cell, you construct some flying vehicles. Water, you let your army go around, and then it also lets you construct some more buildings. Authority, you take territory. Land strat standing helps you in the voting and getting better buffs. Guild favor, just another one to get flying vehicles, and then spice can be exchanged to pay your debt, to make trades with some of the other factions as well, and also give you money if you move this bar up and down over here, which will convert your spice into money. Okay, now that I told you how the villages work very simply, what I'm going to tell you is some tips, very small tips on how you want to go into late game. Now, this depends on the factions, by the way. For example, Fremen do not do this, but for example, I do like to have in the very far away villages, I like to have one airfield. You guys should look into it. This pretty much lets you from any other airfield, or your base obviously lets you to kind of instantly teleport you guys to village from village. So I like to put on mid to late game. Mid game is when I start putting some of them on the very edges of my territories. This is just in case somebody attacks me. I can quickly go over there and protect myself. So yeah, this is why I think it's very important that you guys know this. This is just some very small tips. Next is the spice. So as you guys can see, I have 4 crew. How do you get 1 or 2 or 4 crew? Very simple. This will be in the tree. I'll explain this better in the tree, but it's right here, as you guys can see. You guys see right there, +2 maximum crew in harvesters. Why am I telling you this? Why is this important to this video? Because this is very important. As you can see on the map over here, I have 4 right now, and as what each crew member gives you, it's even more spice. More spice equals more resources, and this is what this video is about, is to tell you how you get resources. Unfortunately, I cannot go that deep because the map is randomized and the buffs are randomized. So I'm just trying to explain to you how the mechanics work. And I think I got all of it. I explained especially... Oh, no I did not. No I did not. Here are some more special, as you guys can see. Always play for these buffs. And there's something... There you go. This is a siege. What is a siege? Pretty much this can go 2 ways. This can be NPCs that can attack your village, or can be your friends. How do you make him your friends? Right here. Once you discover a siege, this will come from these thingies right over here. And I'll explain what they are in a second. This is unscripted, so that's why I'm kind of going all around. So what you do is you sacrifice your water. So make sure you have your water. You need to keep all of these resources in check. That's why you play for the buffs. You sacrifice some of your water to... and they give you money for it, which is obviously good. And after, what happens is, once you have agents, which I'll get to it in another video, but they are right here, you can put one of your agents here to create an alliance with the siege. What this will do is, from time to time, they'll spawn NPCs that will attack nearby enemy villages. So very good for you, and they also give you some buffs. All the faction villages production are increased by 10%, which is incredibly good, as you guys know. So there you go. You guys need to look out for it. And next, it's here. These are randomized events. These events can go either way. You guys can choose one of your agents right here that are on Arrakis. Make sure they are on Arrakis. So you guys can pretty much pick up one right here and there. As you guys can see, one Arrakis information agent. Or you can send your military, and this is always the second option. You choose someone of your military to go over here, and you get the second one. So as you can see, send a military unit to investigate, and you'll get this, which is a lot of money. But this is because we are on late game. So pretty much what you do is you look what they give you, and then you choose either to send an agent or to send one of your army or your entire army if you're feeling threatened over there. I do not recommend that because worms are a thing, and for example here in the deep desert, what's gonna happen is you select every single one of your army, you send them over there, they'll get all eaten by a worm. So just sending one, you know, keep things simple, should protect your army. But yeah, so these are resources that will be explained on other videos, but for example, as you guys can see here, this gives you spice. This I'll explain in the skill tree video. This reveals a siege, as I got revealed here. That's why I conquered this village, to get some friends. So or you get plastic, which is another resource. So yeah, you guys need to collect these. I just at late game I had this stable economy, so I didn't need them anymore, but to always try to pick as many as you want, because this will help you to keep things stable. So yeah, this was the video. Hopefully it was not too confusing. I'm not doing this with a script, I'm kind of going with the flow here. If there are any questions, you guys can always leave them in the comments, but for now I just wanted to explain how the map works. So yeah, last thing before I go is the 3 types of buildings. Yellow is to give you some resources over here. 1 type of resources, normally they are money, or they are plascrete, or they are spice, or yeah, not fuel cell. Pretty much they give you everything that helps you. The yellow gives you everything that helps you to construct other buildings. The red ones usually help you with your army. They give you resources to hire more army or to defend your territory / army, as you guys can see here by the missile battery, or pretty much help your army, as you guys can see here on the airfield, that lets me teleport my army around. The blue is pretty much information. Pretty much it gives you intel, which helps you over here, but I'll get to that. Gives you ways to detect enemy troops that are invisible, and helps you, giving you information or knowledge in this case, to make your skill tree go up faster. So it's a bit more confusing, but the yellows are resources to construct other things. Red is pretty much to help to construct your army / defend, and the rest is just everything else, which is to get information on your enemy, get knowledge for yourself, to help yourself grow, or to give you intel, which is to make operations. But that's it. I think I covered everything now. So thank you so much for watching. Once again, I'm sorry if this was very, very confusing. I'm doing this unscripted and just with the flow. But next video shall be the spice. So I'll see you there. Goodbye.